Hey, hey, hey. Time for another Out of This World story from rSpace. Let's play a game of Would You Rather. Would you rather have your partner see their brother behind your back, or would you rather be someone's professional alarm clock every morning? Today on rSpace, that's the debate we're going to have. Up first, these siblings take siblings night to a whole nother level. I think my girlfriend is cheating on me with her brother. I, male 31, have been living with my girlfriend, female 29, now for 3 years, and everything has seemingly been fine. We are both close to our families, so I've never found it weird that she wants to spend so much time with them, but it's come to my attention recently the way she acts with her brother, male 26. I know it's pretty late in the relationship to be discovering this, but as far as I've seen online, this kind of thing happens within the family fairly often. Her and I are both pretty introverted and like to stay in, but if her brother invites her out, she dresses her best, better than she ever dresses for me if we go out, and always quickly agrees. She's been spending the night at his house more and more often recently, and always comes home wearing clothes that were borrowed from him. When I'm with him in person, it seems like she's pretty touchy with him, and the way she makes eye contact with him kind of scares me. How do I confront her about this? Am I sick for even thinking this to be a possibility? Okay, quick update because there's a bunch of questions, I guess. This is her real brother. I've been to multiple family functions, including him. I have thought about her using him as an alibi, but they always have a way to prove they're together. Whenever they go out, they say it's a siblings night, and I'll be invited another time. I don't know why she spends the night there. He does live alone and is currently single. It might be because they're too drunk to get her home, but the bars and club are a short Uber away from our house, so I don't know why she wouldn't come back home. The reason I don't just want to leave is because everything we have is tied together, and things, especially right now, are extremely expensive, so just moving out and getting a new place would not be easy. I'm going to talk to her tonight, when she's off work, and see if there's anything she's hiding from me. I won't accuse her of sleeping with her brother, but I'll make it known how I feel and what my concerns are. Thank you for all the responses. Another update. Thank you for the advice, guys. I will not confront her tonight. I believe you are all right that I need to gather hard evidence to show her before I make a move like that. I don't want to follow her, as that is too much for me. Going through her phone is a possibility, though. I do feel as though that is pretty invasive, and I don't just want to ask her straight up to go through her phone. Does anyone else have suggestions in this? Oh boy. This is an interesting conundrum, to say the least. If their relationship does, in fact, go beyond just what a brother and sister should do, then it's going to be a hard one to navigate and really prove unless you see them together physically. You might have to be sneaky and actually spy on them whenever they're on one of their sibling nights. If they don't see you there, who knows what you'll catch them doing, but I think that's probably your best bet, OP. Update. I went through her phone when she got home and there are multiple men she's talking to. She goes to her brothers to sleep with them. There were multiple texts back and forth from her brother, with him calling her sexy and even pics of her in a bikini. So I don't know if they're sleeping together or not, but it's a weird relationship either way. I'm extremely hurt, but thank you for the advice, people. I don't know what I'm going to do from here, but I thought I'd just update quickly before deleting my account. Update. I need to get laid after this. F this witch. Update. Took pictures of the nudes and conversations in her phone that she's had with other guys and confronted her. She acted like I was the bad guy, of course, until I said I would out her to her parents. She begged for forgiveness after that. I told her I won't tell her parents if she moves out and lets me stay in the place we've had, so she decided to move in with her brother for the time being. He was too much of a wuss to show up and help her pack, but with my help, we had her completely moved out in only 2 days. I outed her to her parents anyways, and that made me feel good until her brother sent me a nasty text about her being in an ER for trying to off herself. I think it was a stunt for attention, but I still worried, of course. All of my friends and family know as well what she did, and so everything will end up fine. I'll be able to handle rent for a while on my own, and I'm just going to focus on my career and keep living life. I think I came to Reddit because I needed a place to dump my thoughts, but I do appreciate the people that showed support. It's nice to see that people give a crap. Thank you. Whoa. Definitely not what I expected. And nobody wants to hear that their girlfriend or boyfriend is crossing a serious line with their siblings. Sure, it's okay for siblings to have a cool relationship when they're close and talk, but maybe sending bikini pics and using the word sexy is a tad on the weird side. Also, curious as to what her parents said once you told them, OP. What do you make of all this? Have you had a partner who was curiously close with their sibling? Tell us your stories in the comments below. Up next, How good are your sandwich making skills? Probably nothing compared to our next OPs. Probably one of the worst cheating stories ever. I'm feeling nothing. I'm numb. I decided to finally get this off my chest, even though this happened fairly... they just ended the sentence. I'm a stay-at-home mom, or at least I was. I had my first child with my partner, a beautiful baby boy, back in May of this year. The new addition to our little family, including his daughter from a previous relationship that I took care of as my own and refers to me as Mommy. I was so excited to have a family of my own. I've worked most of my life, including my entire pregnancy, so being a stay-at-home mom was very new to me. In the beginning, it was extremely challenging, but eventually I got the hang of it. My partner would handle majority of the bills and expenses while I'd take care of the kids, housework, dinner, and make his lunches for work. My partner worked overnight shifts, so on top of taking care of the children, I was in charge of waking him up for work, which wasn't an easy task at all. Much like a child, he'd throw fits and yell as I attempted to wake him alarm after alarm, all while I cooked dinner and get the kids ready for bed. Eventually, he'd wake up, but not where he'd be too late, because then it'd be my fault. I will say my partner was mostly faithful with some slip-ups where I'd catch texts of him flirting with coworkers or old flings, and we had one big cheating incident a few weeks before I went into labor. Why I stayed? I don't know. Helplessness? Waiting for a family of my own like I never had? I don't know. Maybe. After the birth of my son, things seemed to be getting better. My partner worked hard and was promoted twice in less than a year, bringing in more money to our household and boosting his ego. I continued to do my part. Cook, clean, make his lunch, and wake him for work. One night, I'm doing my usual routine, cooking, making his lunch, and then I wake him for work. But this time, something felt off. My intuition was telling me something. I tried to fight these thoughts, but I just couldn't. That night, after he left for work, I went for my usual run after I put the kids to bed, having my sister look after them. I'd run through our apartment complex and to a trail not too far. Shockingly, while on my run, I saw my partner's car parked at a different part of our complex, and my heart sunk into my chest. Why was he here? He said he was going to work. I checked my phone, and lo and behold, his location was turned off. Funny enough, we only shared location as his idea to prove his loyalty to me. He comes home earlier than usual the next day. I act clueless. I don't know what to think. He comes in bearing gifts, but I could hardly make eye contact because my mind is racing with suspicion. As he showers like clockwork, I check his phone. To my surprise, I see text messages between him and a young lady who lives in the same apartment building as us. He's telling her how he's on his way to give her her vitamin D. They just met the day before. My heart sinks. He had me wake him up, make him lunch, and look me in the eyes and said he was leaving for work. This was the ultimate betrayal. How could he do this? I hear the water stop. I quickly jump and put the phone back where I found it. This is where I go completely numb. He hops out of the shower talking to me normally. I act oblivious and ask him about work. He says it was an easy night. I bet it was. Another day passes. It's time for him to go to work. Again, this time I check his phone before because I had the same feeling again. So I played along. I made his lunch extra special this time. I seasoned every dish with as much Morton's salt as I could. I filled his fancy flask with dishwater. I made his sandwiches that he loves so much with spit and old fish grease. I kissed him goodbye and told him I loved him with so much excitement. Later that night, when I went on my run and saw his car parked once again in the same spot, I lost it. I went upstairs to our apartment and grabbed every messy condiment I could find and decorated his car. I filled it with the trash he'd been neglecting to take out, dirty Pampers, rotten tissue wastes, etc. I blacked out. I couldn't wait for him to see the mess I made. It could be worse. This is the beginning of when you break a person. Sorry to say, but this guy was just using you as a human alarm clock and a caretaker of his children. He couldn't give a dang about you outside of that. If you caught him cheating while you were pregnant, you could have guaranteed that he was going to cheat on you while you had a baby, and he likely was cheating on you even before you were pregnant. Let that be the very last sandwich you ever made for that man. What would you have done in this situation? Our next OP ignored the red flags, and now he's in too deep. My 27 male wife, 27 female, cheated years ago, and I just found out the extent. Hello everyone. As the title implies, I caught my wife cheating on me in 2019. I looked through her phone as I had a gut feeling, and lo and behold, there was a man's name in her Snapchat that I didn't know. After I looked over the snaps, it was her ex-boyfriend, and they went back 1.5 years. Constant communication, but no flirting. Keep in mind, I could only see the conversations that were saved as the others were deleted. She changed the name on his profile to a random name to mask the fact that she was talking to her ex. I confronted her at the time. She admitted it was her ex, and she didn't know why she was talking to him. She claimed it was an emotional affair and they had never seen each other. We fought about this for weeks afterwards, and I was never able to really express myself, and it got swept under the rug. We got engaged in 2020 and married in 2021. I never felt she was cheating, or did I get the gut feeling on anything and everything was great. She got pregnant and gave birth to our son in 2022. Fast forward to August 2023. I got the gut feeling again. I would check her phone when I had time and never found anything. During a conversation a few weeks later, she called me Matt. My name is not Matt, nor do I know anyone named Matt. She stated she didn't know a Matt either, and that I was crazy. I didn't get a chance to look through her phone after this due to conflicting work schedules and keeping up with our 1-year-old son. I would occasionally bring the name up, and she would get very angry with me. I decided one night to look through her computer that is linked to her phone. It's been locked to her phone since she got it the first couple of weeks of us talking in 2015. The messages went back to early 2016, and there was nothing. I then looked in the archived messages, and this went back to when she got the computer late 2015. I clicked through the first few with nothing. I got to the next folder, a month after we started dating, and found messages between her and her ex-boyfriend. She reached out to him, and they continued talking until they switched over to Snapchat in 2017. The archives worked. It didn't save every message, but it did save a lot of them. I knew this as I looked at our messages and then looked at the archived ones, and a lot were not there. In the messages with her ex, she stated things such as, "I miss you. I was so happy with you, and I was going to hold out for you," but no flirting. Adding up the time, they had an emotional affair for 4 years. They constantly talked about meeting up and seeing each other, but nothing proved they did. She was also talking down about me to him throughout this time. During the same Snoop session, I logged into her Facebook and looked through her activity log. There it was. After she called me Matt and we got into a huge fight, she deleted a Matt from her Facebook friends list. I looked him up and found out he works at the same hospital as her. Once I processed this all, I confronted her about her ex, and she just said she's sorry, and it's so long ago she doesn't remember anything. I told her I needed answers. I gave it some time and sat her down to talk. At first she rolled her eyes, laughed, and didn't take it seriously. I started to cry, which she has only seen me cry 2 or 3 times during our 8 years together, and she started to take it more seriously. She still stated she didn't know and that she was sorry. I then brought up Matt, and she said she didn't know a Matt and that I was crazy again. I then said, "He works at the same hospital as you, and you just deleted him from your friends list after you called me his name." She said she remembers now, and that she added him for her friend at work who thought he was cute when he fixed her computer, and she might have deleted him when she cleaned out her friends list. I called BS as he was the only person she deleted. We fought about this for a few days, and I decided I was just done and gave her space. I know she will still not admit it to anything unless I have the evidence, which she deleted before I was even suspicious. I looked in her Google search history and she Googled what to do after you cheat, and every website she visited said to not disclose information as this will just make your spouse even more mad. I brought this up and she said it was so long ago and she doesn't remember, and the websites she didn't even read. I need some advice on how to best move forward with this, or what other people have done in similar situations. I love her so much, but I know I will never trust her again how I did, and I feel as though this may happen again. Backstory: I grew up in a single-parent household, seeing my dad most weekends, and vowed that I will not raise my children like that. So there's that. Alright, the community has some responses. First up, you will never get closure from a cheater. You seem to have turned out okay from a single-parent home. Being brutally honest here, you don't even know 10% of what she did or is doing. She seems a very accomplished, proficient cheater and liar. Probably time to accept she can never be trusted and move on. The next person says, "Sorry man, either you just have to put up with the fact that she is cheating and stay in an untrusting relationship with her for the kids, or until she leaves you for one of the guys she cheats with. Or grow a pair and realize you will never trust her and that it will keep you perpetually unhappy and that it will trickle down to your children. She is trickle-truthing you, lying and gaslighting. You're being crazy. I never did, said that. I won't tell you what to do. It's your life. I can only tell you what usually happens in these situations and what I would do. I would leave for the sake of my kids." She deleted Matt as soon as she said it. She was trying to get rid of any trace he existed. Why? Could it have been from just an emotional affair? Maybe. But she is in close proximity to him. It's more possible that she has been with him physically. It's also probable that she cheated on you with her ex all that time ago. But that's just my opinion. Sorry you have to go through this. No one should have to. And one more thought. Bro, you know what you need to do. Forget the disrespect of cheating. Forget the disrespect of gaslighting. But she's disrespecting you right to your face and won't even own up to her mistakes. no personal responsibility, and no respect for you. Thoughts and prayers. A. Why would you marry someone who was, in fact, cheating on you? She admitted to an emotional affair. B. Why would you stay with someone who cheated on you just because you don't want your kids growing up seeing a parent on the weekends? Kids are so sensitive to these things. Would you rather your child see how miserable you were while their mom went and slept with other men and you were at home? That's no way to live, OP. She's never going to change. What do you think? Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you soon on rSpace.